Welcome to my prototype. The learning management system I'm using is that of Vula. It is powered by Sakai, and Vula is the learning management system of the University of Cape Town at which I'm based. What happens is when the student wants to go into Vula, they go here to UCT login, click on it, they enter their details and sign in. On the top here of a learning management system, you've got the general landing page. Here are all the different courses. My prototype is MAM 1005 Calculus. So if a student wants to enter it, they just click on that page and tab. Currently, this is the view of me as a lecturer, as the designer. So what we're going to do is we're going to view the site as an observer of how the student will see the site at the end of the day. Firstly, we've got the landing page here where we've got a welcome. The course is going to be asynchronous and synchronous. The Vula site will contain all the resources, lecture notes and videos, as well as other asynchronous activities like the quizzes and the tests the students need to do. The only synchronous activity is the online tutorials, which are diarized and will be taking place via Microsoft Teams. And the meetings link will be posted on the calendar tool, which appears here. We will return to this calendar tool in a moment. Firstly, for the student, when they start accessing this Vula page of a course for the first time, they need to visit the course outline page to read the most important documentation that will orientate them around the workings of a course. And they can access the course content outline on the left-hand side here, just clicking on it. There's a course outline and a course study guide. Just print on expand all, and then they can just click on the content outline and it will appear in a separate window. The content outline tells us what are all the chapters we are doing from our prescribed textbook, what are the different sequencing, what we're going to do, and then it tells us precisely what is done each day and each week of the year. It also indicates when there are no tutorials and there's a class test, when the exams and the holidays take place. And you can see that we've got a clear course outline at the end of the day of what's happening precisely each day of the week. The study guide, clicking on it, will give you the details of the lecturing team, the weekly timetable. When there's face-to-face lectures, there of course will the students join either of these periods, and there's a tutorial on Monday afternoons. But what happens is when we're working on an online course, the students will be working in an asynchronous environment, so they can go and look at the video material or resources whenever they want to. They can use the periods here as a guideline to help them to set up specific times which they can go and work. The tutorial is a synchronous activity, as I mentioned before at the end of the day. There's also other information here of where the students can access lecture notes, PowerPoint slides and the content outline, what happens with tutorials precisely, when are tests, what test takes into account, the test dates, where students can find help at the end of the day, the textbook, the gradebook tab on Vula will give them access to the marks. We'll get to that. How their final mark is calculated, and then there's just again the MAM 1005 course content outlined for them. So let's go back to the general overview page, the landing page. The resources page is where the lecture notes and the lecture videos will be to access a certain document or video. As we said, the weekly tutorial will be Mondays from 2 to 6, and this is the only synchronous activity that the students will need to join. There's an MS Team link for the tutorials, and here the link will appear. So if we go to the calendar, you will see that there's an activity the 23rd of August. The students can click on it. An activity is a tutorial. Click on tutorial, and it says to join this week's tutorial. There's a link to join the Microsoft Teams meeting. The students need to refer to the announcement page on what content will be covered in the tutorial. We'll get back to that in a moment. Also, what's helpful is to tell the students who is the course team at the end of the day, and that they are always free to contact the lecturers anytime. Students having problems with VULA can either contact one of these links at the end of the day. Announcements here will be posted. So for example, if we click on it, we've got information on what the tutorial will be based on for the 23rd of August. It will, within this message, it will tell you what content we will cover, and then what textbook exercises will the students need to do. The announcements and the calendar, the students can also access here on the left-hand side pane. So there they can click on announcements. They've got tutorial and quiz, same information. Calendar, it shows for them precisely what's happening. So let's click on next week, and we see we've got a tutorial on the 23rd of August. They can click on it, and it gives them all the details, and again the Microsoft link appears there. Resources is where the students can view lecture notes, lecture videos, the textbook, which is prescribed, and then what information was done in week 1. So what's going to happen is there's the lessons tool where each week we've got the content which the students will be covering. So for example, in week 1, you've got all the information of the videos and also the lecture notes. So they can click on it, the lecture notes appear there with all the information. What are the important concepts they need to understand in their textbook? Of course, this section refers to what's happening in the textbook, and then they've got a bunch of examples they can work through. These examples are also discussed in the videos, so they can click on the videos. So the resources folder basically just contains what's happening in each week. But for best access, what's going to happen is the students can just go to the week. So week 1. In week 1, it tells them precisely what they are doing and what are the learning outcomes and what's the main point of that week. And again, we can see they've got the lecture notes here. If they scroll down, they've got their 2 videos which are important. They can click on the videos, and there we've got it.
In this video, we will be discussing concavity.
The students can also have the option of downloading the video at the end of the day. So they can click on each week to help them at the end of the day. The Q&A section is where students can post questions anonymously. So it appears there. A question was asked here, does anyone know any good videos on connectivity, on transformations of functions? As we see, there are no questions yet to answer. So what we can do is return to the list, okay, and students can answer then questions here. The chat room is basically like a WhatsApp group chat room. Students can enter a message in here and just add the message. If you go back to the overview page, you will see that the chat room messages here will also appear. Dropbox is where the students can hand in their assignments and tests they've done at the end of the day. Tests and quizzes is where quizzes will be mostly done weekly for each tutorial. Gradebook will contain the students' information. Currently there are no gradebook items because no test has been generated. So the students will have their marks here at the end of the day. And the participants will be here. Students can then access anyone's email address and be in contact with them. Thank you for watching my prototype. I hope you enjoyed it and you've got a better overview of my learning designer plan. Thank you.